Hello everyone, in this video we are just going to send a GET request from our Node MCU for reading the data available in the field of ThinkSpeak IoT platform. Let's get started. So opening our Arduino IDE, as usual we just want the internet access to our Node MCU, and that is why I am just going to copy and paste this function that we created for connecting the Node MCU to the Wi-Fi router available in my home. So I am just pasting this function connect to Wi-Fi for connecting the Node MCU to the Wi-Fi router for fetching the internet access. I am just calling this function, and other than that I'm just going to copy and paste all these header files and the function declaration in the top of the program. And here in the void setup I'm just going to use the serial monitor as usual for printing the response that I got from the ThinkSpeak server with the baud rate of 1,15,200, and that's it. Our initialization part has been complete. We have connected the device to the Wi-Fi using this function call, and I have explained to you clearly about connecting this device to the Wi-Fi router in a separate lecture. If you have not watched that lecture, you can go back to that lecture. I am not going to explain you about that. And now let's discuss what we are going to do in this Node MCU program. So you just want to understand that you can only read the latest updated data from here. So if you send a GET request for reading one number of data, this last data that has been updated in this field will be read. And if you send a request for reading two number of data, then you will get this latest updated data 78, and then you will get the latest updated data 63. So in this manner, according to the number of data that you give in the request, you will get the latest amount of data that has been uploaded to the field available in this channel. So if I give a number of 1 for the GET request, I will get this latest updated data 63, that is the last data. And if I give the amount to be 2, I will get this 78, and then again after that I will get this 63. Now let's test this by using the web browser. So coming to the API keys tab in this channel, you can see this is the read a channel GET request format. Copy this and paste it in the web browser, and here you can see this is the channel ID and this one is the API key, and you may be having different channel ID and API key since you are creating your own channel as per your wish. And here you can see this is the number of data that you want to read from the channel, and let's leave it to be 2, and when I enter, you can see the first data that I read is 78 and the second data that I read is 63. So this is 78 over here, and this one is the 63, which is the last updated data. So in this manner you will receive the data as a whole string available over here as a response from the ThinkSpeak server. And now when I try to read only one amount of data by writing 1 over here, you can see I only read this 63, which is the last updated data. So we will not be only getting this data that is available in the field, but instead we will be getting this whole response in our Node MCU. And for now let's try to program our Node MCU for sending the GET request for getting this whole response from the ThinkSpeak server, and then we will try to print this response onto the serial monitor available in our Arduino IDE. So we learned already about sending the GET request to this ThinkSpeak server when we are writing program for writing the data to the field available in this channel, right? So we are just going to use the same programming methodology. So let's get into the programming part. As usual, we just want to include two important files, header files, that is Wi-Fi client .h and then ESP8266 HTTP client.h, which is useful for sending the HTTP GET request and POST request in our programming part. And here we just want to create objects for these two header files. I'm just creating that client HTTP client of HTTP. So these two are the objects for these header files. Using these objects you can access all the methods in the libraries of these two header files. And now as usual we are just going to begin the TCP or IP communication with the HTTP begin method. And as a parameter we will be passing the Wi-Fi client object, and the second parameter of this function is nothing but the GET request that you want to send. So we know that from the API keys tab, this is the request that we want to send, that is the GET request. So I am just copying this entire GET request and I am going to paste it over here, and you just want to pass this URL GET request in a string format. And here you can see the number of data is 2, but I just want to receive only one number of data from the response of ThingSpeak. And here, as I said, this HTTPS is not supported by NodeMCU, and since because of that we will be passing the URL in HTTP format. So please erase the yes over here. And nextly we are just going to print in the serial monitor waiting for response. And as usual we know that we will be receiving a HTTP code. So we will be getting the HTTP code with the function or method called HTTP get, and it must be a positive number, usually 200. So greater than 0, if the HTTP code is greater than 0, we will print the string get request sent successfully. And then if it is successful, we just want to print the response that we got right over here. So for getting this response in our NodeMCU, we are just going to use a method called HTTP get string. So this is a method which is useful for getting the response from the web server. So this is the response that we will get. So I am just going to store this response onto a string variable. So here I am just declaring a variable called response, which is a string variable, and I am going to receive the response from the ThingSpeak server using this variable. And once got, I will be just printing that onto the serial monitor, serial.println of response. And else if the HTTP code available over here is not greater than 0, we will print the string failed to connect to server. So this string will be printed on the serial monitor if this HTTP code is negative. So I am just declaring this also here, HTTP code variable, and at the end as usual we will be ending the TCP IP communication with the method called http.end. And after this I am just going to give a delay of 1000 milliseconds. So in the previous lectures of writing the data to this field available in the channel of ThingSpeak server, I mentioned that you can only write the data once for 16 seconds in a free account of ThingSpeak, right? But for reading the data, you can read the data with a minimum amount of time. So that is possible, and that is why I have given a delay of 1000 over here. 1000 milliseconds is nothing but 1 second. So for every second, this GET request will be sent to the ThingSpeak server, and the ThingSpeak server will be giving us the response string, that is this entire string, onto our NodeMCU. and once this ThingSpeak server response is given to the node MCU, that will be stored in the variable called response over here, and that response variable string will be printed on the serial monitor. So for every second, this string over here available over here will be printed on the serial monitor, since we have written all these lines inside the infinite loop. Now I am just uploading the program to the node MCU, which I have connected to the PC USB port. The program has been uploaded. I am opening the serial monitor. You can see the node MCU is trying to connect to my Wi-Fi router, and the connection is made. And you can see this is the response that I got from the ThingSpeak server. I'm just unchecking this auto scroll for stopping the scroll of this serial monitor. And you can see this is the response that I got. I'm just copying this and I'm pasting it over here. So this is the response that I got from the node MCU for every 1 second, and this is the response that I got in the web browser, right? So I'm just copying this and I'm pasting it down over here, and you can see these two are same. So these two are similar responses, but this is fetched using the web browser, and this is the response for the get request sent from the node MCU that is available in the serial monitor. So we have successfully fetched the response from the ThingSpeak server with the help of get request from the node MCU. Now when I try to change the data, let's say when I try to write the data 125 onto the field available over here using the web browser, you can see the 125 has been written to the field, and in my serial monitor you can see the data recently fetched is 125. And when I again write the same data 63 in my serial monitor, you can see I am getting the 63 again. So which is the latest data. Now you can see 63 is the latest data, and you can clearly see that as per our programming logic, we are sending this get request for every second in our node MCU, and that is why we are getting this response for each and every second. So for now we just understood how to get the response from the ThingSpeak server, which we got in the web browser using the node MCU. So we got the same response that we got in the web browser here in the node MCU also. And let's try to sort this data out available over here, and let's get this data stored in a separate string variable. So now we can see how we can extract this data available over here in this entire string and store that to a separate variable for further processing. So I'm just copying all these things at the end and I'm pasting it over here. So you can see this is the response that we got from the ThingSpeak server, and here you can see this last string is constant over here, that is this entry ID string, and all the braces available over here are constant. And what we are going to do is, in this string available, let's assume that this index of this character in the string is 0. So we know that the string is nothing but array of characters. Each of the character available over here will be having an index. Index means the numbering. Actually this is in the first position, this is in the second position, and it goes on like this. And the entire string will be having a certain set of characters or certain number of characters. So let's count this: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24, 25, 26, okay, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So we are having 32 characters in this array of characters. Now what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to find the index of this entry id string along with this double quotes. So let's say it is at the first position, so this index is 1. So I will find the index of this entry id first and I will store it to a variable called begin string. So the index of this entry id will be stored in the begin string. Let's assume it to be 1. And nextly what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find the index of this braces, flower braces, square braces and flower braces. So these three braces will be having the index as per our assumption. The total characters is 32. So 32, 31 and 30. So 30 will be the index as per our assumption. Actually we are assuming that this is the only string that we are getting as a response from the ThingSpeak server, but actually we are getting the whole string. But if you understand this, you will understand the concept that I am going to explain. So the index of this braces is 30 and I will store that to a variable called end string. So these are actually numeric variables, integer variables, and the index of the particular strings will be, or substrings will be stored in the begin string and end string. And this begin string is having the value 1 and the end string is having the value 30 as per our assumption, because we are assuming that this is the only string that we got as a response. Now what happens is I just want to print this data available over here, right? So from this index I just want to add a particular number for allowing the string to go over here. So this is the position 1. So I just want to add a number of all these characters over here. So I'm just going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 and 26. So I just want to add the number 26 to this begin string for going to the data position. So I'm just adding 26 over here to the begin string for going to the index of the data string available over here. So for the end of the data string I just want to subtract the index of this string with 1, because we are having a double quotes over here. So I just want to neglect this double quotes. So I'm just subtracting this end string with 1. So if I start from this begin string plus 26 and if I print till the end string minus 1, I will get the data here printed, whether it is a 2-digit number or if it is a 3-digit number, I will get this string to be printed. That is the number 63 available over here, that is the data will be printed if you print the string from the index begin string plus 26 till the index end string minus 1. So in this manner, using this methodology, we are just going to print and store the data available in this entire string onto a separate variable. So coming to our programming, what I'm just going to do is, we got the response successfully, but after we get the response, we are just going to declare two more variables, as I said, that is a string variable begin string and end string. And nextly we are just going to use another variable called result for storing the result data that we fetch from the string. So here I'm just going to use the begin string for fetching the index of the entry id, double quotes entry id. So for fetching the index, I'm just going to use a function or method available in this Arduino IDE, that is index of backslash of, because we are just going to measure the index of the double quotes also, entry ID double quotes. You can see I have given the same name over here in this index of function, and this method must be called with the string variable. So I just want to find this substring within the string response. So the index of the entry ID double quotes entry ID will be stored in the begin string variable, and at the end string variable, as per our logic, I just want to store the three braces. So we got the end string and begin string, and the next step is we just want to print the data that is available between begin string plus 26 index and until end string minus 1 index. So for that I am just going to use the variable result for storing the result data. So I am just going to use the same response string variable, and I am going to pick out the substring available in this entire string starting from the index of begin string plus 26 comma end string, which is the end address until the string must be stored, end string minus 1. So now you can see this response string is nothing but this entire string, and this 63 is a substring. So I am just picking up this 63 substring from this entire response string, and I am storing it to a string variable called result. So the index of that 63, we are just using some technique for picking up the index of the substring. So this is the starting index and this is the ending index of the string data. So whatever the number it may be, whether it is a 2-digit number or a 3-digit number, this method is useful for storing that number data that we receive from the response string onto the result variable. So that is why we are finding the index of this entry ID as well as this braces, and then we are adding that entry ID with 26 for starting index of the number, and then we are subtracting 1 with this brace index for getting the end index of the data available here, the entry response string. And now what happens is, suddenly after this we are just going to print the result string, so that the data that is available in this entire string, that is 63, will be also printed in the next line of the serial monitor. So here you just want to note one more thing, that since I am having the entry ID number to be in 4 digits, I am getting here the number to be added to the begin string as 26. And if you are having a 3-digit number over here, you just want to put 25, you just want to add 25 to the begin string, and if you are having a 2-digit number over here in the entry ID, you just want to add only 24 to the begin string. And since I am having 4-digit number, I am adding the 26 to the begin string variable. So in this method you can extract the data that is available in this entire response string, and you can store that data to a separate string variable, and then you can use this data that you fetched from the ThinkSpeak server for further processing in your program. Now I am just uploading the program to the Node MCU by clicking on this icon, and yes, the code has been dumped to the Node MCU. I am opening the serial monitor. You can see the Node MCU is trying to connect to the Wi-Fi network, and it has been connected to Wi-Fi network, and you can see the data that is read from the, I am just turning off this auto scroll for stopping the scrolling process. and now you can see this is the string that we got as a response from the ThingSpeak server, and the data is 63 that is available over here, and we have finally sort out the data from this whole string and it has been printed in the next line, and our process is successful. That is, we have completely sorted out the data required for us into a separate variable called a result over here. So that has been printed right over here, and when I click on this auto scroll, you can see for every second the reading process is being held in this Node MCU program, and when I try to write a different data and coming over to the field, you can see the last updated data is 63, and that is why we are receiving 63 over here in the serial monitor in our Node MCU. So we are just using this read channel field over here for reading the data, right? So I am just going to change the data by writing a new data to the field available over here. I am just using this write a channel feed URL, that is the get request for changing the data, and I am just going to write the data 125. Let us see whether we are receiving 125 over here in the serial monitor. I am just clicking on enter. You can see the entry ID is 996 and the data is changed to 125 in my field. And let us see the serial monitor. You can see the data 125 is received over here for every 1 second. So in this manner, the last updated data that is available over here in this field of the channel available in ThingSpeak server will be continuously read by the Node MCU using this program. So that's it. You can see this program is helpful for sending a GET request for reading from a particular channel field available in ThingSpeak, and then we wrote these 3 lines, and then we will get this whole string as a response from the ThingSpeak server, and we need only this data right over here, which is the actual data available in the field of the channel. So we wrote these 3 lines for using a technique for sorting out this data available in this lengthy string, and we extracted that data from this whole entire string using these 3 lines. And that's it. I hope you understood these 3 lines, and I hope you understood how to send a GET request for reading a data from the channel available in the ThingSpeak server. So this is the output that I got in the hardware, and when I transmit similar data 63, you can see the data 63 will be updated right over here in this channel. You can see 63 has been updated, and in my serial terminal I will receive the data that I read from the channel to be 63. You can see for every second I am reading the data 63, and that's it. So in this manner you can use this programming lines for sending a GET request for reading the channel data available in ThingSpeak, and we receive the response entire string from the ThingSpeak server, and then using the response string, that is this one right over here, we are just using some technique for extracting out this data that is actually available in the field of the channel using these 3 lines available over here. And this variable result will be holding the actual data that is available in the field, and this response variable, that is a string variable, will be holding the entire response string from the ThingSpeak server. So now what I'm going to do is I am just going to write down these lines into a function for reading the latest updated data in the field of a channel. So I'm just copying all these things from here to the end, and I'm going to create a function void receive get request, and this function receives a parameter called field number, And since we know this is the URL required for sending a GET request for reading a particular data from the field number 1 from the text over here, right? So we are just going to dynamically give the field number for reading the corresponding data. That is, here we have created only one fields. So as I said in the beginning, we can create up to 8 fields for each of the channels available over here, and for a free account in ThinkSpeak you can create up to 4 channels. So for each channel you can create 8 fields and you can create a maximum of 4 channels. So since we are reading from this only field available in our channel, we are not worrying about this. But if you are creating a multiple channels, you just want to give the field number over here. That is, like, since I'm reading from the field 1, I'm just giving the number here to be 1. And if you want to read from any other fields that has been created over here, that you may be creating over here, you just want to give the field number to be 2, 3, 4, etc. So I'm just going to pass this field number over here as a dynamic data by receiving the field number as a parameter to this function. So I'm just going to use the same methodology that I used in the program of writing the data to the ThinkSpeak server channel. That is, this is the program that we wrote for uploading the analog values to the channel available in ThinkSpeak server, right? So here we splitted this URL string, that is the GET request, into several parts, and we stored all these things, that is the API key, field number and the data that we want to pass into separate variables, and then we passed that string variable directly onto this HTTP begin function. So I'm just going to use the same methodology. I'm just copying this, but here the request format is little different, so I'm just going to use and update the things over here. So let me just copy this and paste it over here. So as I said, I'm just going to change only this field number, and other than that we are having channel ID and API key as a separate dynamic data. But since we are reading from a particular channel, and I am just going to write this function for reading from a particular channel only, I am just going to change this field number 1 here to be a dynamic data. So till here the slash, I am just going to paste it over here, and after that here I am just going to add the field number, which is the parameter which is received in the function call. And after that I just want to add these things. So I'm copying that and I'm pasting it over here, and that's it. And I'm changing the function to be receive GET request from channel 1, and that's it. Because this is the ID for channel 1, I'm just commenting this because this is the ID for channel 1, that is the 1400595. So this is the channel ID. You can see, since this is the constant channel ID, I am not going to change this. So I am just changing the function here to be receive GET request from channel 1, and you can vary the field number. If you want to receive the data from field 1, you just want to give the parameter as 1, or if you are receiving any data from any other fields of the same channel, you can also give the corresponding field number. Let's say if you want to get the data from field 2, you just want to pass here the number 2, and that's it. And regarding the second parameter to this begin function, you just want to pass this string URL. I'm just declaring the string URL also, and that's it. Now when I upload the program, you can see I just want to call this function inside the void loop instead of writing all these things inside the void loop. And here I just want to pass the number 1, since I'm reading the data from field 1 of channel 1 created. I'm just uploading the program. So you just want to remember that this is the function for reading the latest updated data from the field that you pass right over here as a parameter for this channel that we created with the ID 1400595. So for this channel, this function is a constant function for reading the data from the field number that you are passing right over here. So the channel is constant. You can only read from this channel only using this function, but the field from where you are reading to that corresponding channel can be changed by changing the parameter value right over here. If you want to read from the field 1 of the same channel, you just want to pass 1 over here, and if you want to read from the field 2 of the channel, you just want to change the number here to be 2. The program has been successfully uploaded. Now I am opening the serial monitor. Node MCU is trying to connect to Wi-Fi. It is connected, and the channel data is now also receiving it to be 63, which is the last updated data, 63. Now when I try to change the data by sending a GET request from my browser 147, I just want to receive this data 147 here in my serial monitor. I am just clicking on enter. You can see the 147 is being received in my serial monitor, that is in my Node MCU. So that's it for now. You can see we just wrote a function for receiving data from constant channel that we created, and we can dynamically change the field number from which you are reading using the parameter available in this function. And here as usual we are just sending the GET request that we fetched from the API tab available over here. So we are using the read a channel field GET request instead of read a channel feed GET request, because we are just going to read from a multiple fields available in this channel. But if you are using this read a channel feed GET request, then whatever the feeds that you are giving to the channel available over here will be kept on read by the Node MCU. But if you want to read from a particular field available in the channel, you just want to use this read a channel field GET request. That's it. That is why we have used this read a channel field GET request over here in our Node MCU program. So I hope you understood this program. See you in the next lecture. Thanks for watching.